Peoples of the universe, please attend carefully. The message that follows is vital to the future of you all.
But is it, though? But is it? Is it vital to the future? Well, here's why I'm doubting why this one might be vital to the future. There's a good reason. Just as my intro was playing, right? Well, firstly, I actually I could ask you guys a question in the chat. I need you guys to help me because I might have mentioned sometimes I'm Jewish, right? I'm Jewish, but here's a weird thing. I don't know what it's like not to be Jewish, right? So I don't know if I'm having regular human guilt, Jewish guilt, or something similar to Catholic guilt. I don't know what Catholic guilt is. I assume it's similar to Jewish guilt, right? Okay, fine. So I was just on Dan's channel, Type 40 Facebook. Great channel. I recommend you subscribe to it. Absolutely fantastic channel. And it was such an enjoyable chat. I kept jumping in as I was getting ready for this. I felt it was a wrench to leave it, right? I wanted to stay with it. It was so cool. So I wanted to tell everybody to come and join me when they're done. If you want to get, so everybody can jump in whenever, right? But then as I'm like leaving, I'm like, because I was like there for 2 minutes, and it sounds like I was like coming in, doing an ad for my stream, and then leaving. I felt like, oh, maybe I should have, this is why it's always good to think things out, which I sometimes do not do. Anyway, so I don't know if that's Jewish guilt, normal guilt, or regular old Catholic guilt, which I don't have. I guess Catholic guilt's like Jewish guilt. Anyway, so here's a sign. The message may not be vital to the future of you all, but it might be, because just as my titles are playing, and then Anthony comes on, and I get a notification: Hills versus Babyface is live. I'm like, oh mother, really? So like, my stream is my second choice. I just turned my air on, man. It's got a bit stuffy. Although autumn is coming. We're very excited. Autumn is coming. It was very hot 2 days ago, and now it was actually cooler tonight. I actually could have worn a cardigan or a sweater when I went out to when I went out to pray the afternoon and the evening prayer, which has got the afternoon prayer is called Mincha and the evening prayer is called Marif. Mincha is the name of the service they did. They're in the temple. Right, so and there's about 20-minute break in between the two, but so normally, Millar is at the end of the day, which is that is 6 o'clock, and then Marv is 6:30. There's like a 15-minute break in between. It takes about 15 minutes to do it, right? So I kept jumping. I listened to Dan's stream then as well. I was really into it. Yeah, that was a very good stream. If anybody speaks to him, I am highly complimentary. Let me say who is there. Pop Culture Avenger, how are you? Huzzah! Avenging pop culture. Wherever you see it needing it avenged. My friend, if you have eyes, it needs to be avenged. It needs to be avenged quite royally. Because imagine Doctor Who, for example, is something you love. You've been beloved with it, for like your sister. It's like it's not like your mother, because it's like you grew up with, and it stayed with you, and you love it dearly, and then it died horribly. Like, but then the person who murdered it is now having necrophiliac sex with it. Right, that's demonetized right there. I cannot imagine necrophiliac sex is in any way not a warning bell for the YouTube, bots. They're like, so I'm sure that's demonetized right there. But that's what they're basically doing with Doctor. And you're forced to watch it, Clockwork Orange style. It's weird. So yes, if you feel that's something that shouldn't need to be avenged, I think you should avenge it, Mr. Pop Culture Avenger. How you doing, everybody? Quantum Smith, how are you? Time that just right. You should just ding, bang. Yes, there's a plank. Yes, the plank. Says the time of the team. Andy Cyberly did 65. Moly, you're Jewish. Yes, I did. Did I mention it? Oy vey. As I spit out bits of bagel. I'm so Lord Thoth, there you're here. How you doing? Thank you so much for the link. TARDIS, how you doing? No. Do you want to come on? Do you want me to? I'll send you the link. I'll send you the link. If you want to come on, you're welcome. If you don't want it, you don't want it. It's fine. We're all cool, baby. We're all cool. Although this is bad. This is a bad thing to happen on a podcast, right? While you're in the middle of it. I'm there, invite. That's what I'm looking for, the invite button. As I shifted my ass in my chair just now, I want to do that. I shift my ass in my chair as I go, because I sit a lot, right? I sit a lot. I just got my underwear caught, right, bunched up, and then jammed into my taint. It was very, very uncomfortable. So, but I sorted it out. So everybody relax. No need to worry. Copy the clipboard. Fine. I got to send this link. I'm going to send it to a few people. Here we go. Mega Geek's coming on. I saw his move today. I took the time. I actually watched it, and it's not how he described it. Okay, he described it as like this micro budget, thing. So I was thinking it's going to have real low production values. It's freaking brilliant. What's he talking about? That's not micro budget. How you got that look out of a micro budget? I do not know, sir. I do not know. The TARDIS. There you go. That's your Twitty tat. No, link sent. Okay, I guess ask them what the problem being. Why not? There you go. Anyway, fine. Let's see who we're saying hello to. Economy. Are you a fan of Discworld? No, I know nothing about it, but I'm glad I'm not. See, that's one of the many necrophiliac cults of one sister. I don't have to see being raped. So, I'm really quite happy about that one, actually. So yeah, I dodged a bullet there. Oh boy, do I wish I didn't know about Game of Thrones now, right? Wouldn't that be better? Oh hell, here's a question. Here's a question. Would you rather be spared the pain of Doctor Who as it is now, be spared that pain, but never have known Doctor Who, right? Never have known it. Or would you have known that Doctor Who, known it and loved it as I've done, and now you have to feel that pain? What would you do, chat? That's a pretty darn good question. I like that question. Noel says it's coming. I hope so. Oh, hey, good for you. Don't kiss and tell, sir. James Dawson. One second. James Dawson, how are you, sir? I'll see. What you just saw then was a filter, right? I had a story going, and I was going to say, that's a pretty funny story. That's a pretty darn funny story. And then the filter stepped in and says, no, see. You might not want to do that. Somebody 65 said hello. Okay, I said hello to the entire Blue Planet said hello to Captain Ed. How you doing, mate? Yeah, you're right. People are like, yeah, I don't feel the pain of the current Who. You're the Zen master then. You're the Zen master. Yeah, we all want to live with that pain, right? It's like, what was that? Star Trek 5, right? That was, which people slag off. Star Trek, I don't think it was so bad. I kind of liked it. I mean, listen, it was kind of like Star Trek 5 was like a movie made from the Star Trek cartoon, right? Because I can imagine it seemed much more like that cartoon. Yeah, especially them sitting around there singing "Row, row, row your boat." That's like they'll do in the cartoon, right? I could just see that more in the cartoon, not low decks. I mean, yeah, the real cartoon, the Filmation cartoon. When there was the same effects as you had in Masters of the Universe as you had in Star Trek. Loved it. Filmation, right? But yeah, it was like a movie of that. But okay, I wish they would just. Like some student or some group, some fan group, Shatner always said he wanted the effects finished, that they were never finished. Some like effects guy, whatever, should get together with Shatner and make themselves a cut. Because I would like to see it. Because I liked it. I've sent you the link. Ding-a-ling. Look at your Twitter. Look at your twats. Hold on a second. I hope so. Yeah, definitely. I see it. I'm seeing it in the twats. There you go. Comic Black Belt is here. How you doing, mate? He's eloquent as ever. The real super doctor, not a pretend super doctor. Fine. So, what are we talking about? We've got a few things to talk about. We got YAZ. YAZ is such a plank. YAZ is such a freaking plank. And they're going to make her like her mental illness. Apart, we got to read that. We got to read that. Maybe we'll talk about the Doctor Who game, the VR game, which, oh God, just depresses me. I got my wife, bless her, bought me a VR for Hanukkah, not last year, the year before. Like, freaking awesome. Absolutely awesome. You play Batman, that Batman game. You're freaking Batman, okay? Here's the problem with it, though. Here's the problem that I ran into. This is a true story. This is getting through the filter. This one's coming through. Okay, so in Batman, the VR game, you have this you have your batarang on your bat belt, right? You have on your utility belt, and so you got to reach in and grab your batarang. Something, reach in, grab your batarang, as you can see, you fly your batarang. But I couldn't do it because I'm too fat. So my hands were too like my hand. Okay, the VR was reading where my hands were, and it's saying it's not possible that a human being could have his waist out there. It's not possible. You're doing it wrong. So I feel like pull into myself to grab my batarang. So there was that. But I always it's broken my heart, VR, because it's like such an incredible potential, not used for porn, and that's it. It's only ever used for porn. I'm like, why? It's the weirdest thing. And as it's used for porn, it should be reasonably easy to make. I mean, listen, I don't want to cast aspersions on pornographic professionals. I'm sure they do a fine job. Which I always think it's a weird job. Isn't that a weird job? You're working on a porn set. I think that would be a weird job. There we go. First in the gate.
Hey,
man.
How are you?
I am spiffy. How are you? I'm very good. I was saying there's much we can talk about tonight. There's the YAZ Mental Health, which I'm sure is something that concerns you. We're talking about VR. VR used almost exclusively for porn. Could you imagine if VR was used for not porn? I mean, okay, this is a bit of a mind-blowing thought for most people. Like, really? Don't use porn? What? I don't understand. Yeah, no, you're in some VR narrative, a story. Like you're in some kind of Doctor Who thing. Like that would be awesome, wouldn't it?
Yeah. If it didn't include the 13th Doctor, I like the Weeping Angels game that they're supposed to be bringing out.
Yeah, but bloody Jodie Whittaker all the way through it. She's
I didn't think she was true that one. I thought she was.
No, she's like a bad cum stain on a reasonably nice shirt. It's just like you'll just never get out, right? One drop and it's over. You don't need to. Oh god! In the Tidal Victorious, the comic book, the second issue, she just turned up for 4 or 5 pages for no reason, other than to say, "Hi, I'm here." Oh, can you see it? That's cool.
I actually do you know what I did last night?
What?
I watched the show that she recorded. Who Do You Think You Are?
Hello.
What was that like?
Have to be honest. Very interesting. She got very emotional. At the start, she started off wanting to find out about our great grandmother or our grandmother, and she was saying little things at the start what were basically blaming our grandfather or blaming this bloke that got her pregnant to run off. But it turned out that our grandmother was a bit of a, jumped from man to man, basically, let's just say. But she started concentrating on this guy called Walter, part of her family. He fought in World War I, got injured, and he volunteered to go back. And within a week or two, he died. He actually then died. But his story was very emotional. She ended up finding his grave. I have to be honest, for the first time sitting down watching Jodie Whittaker, I wasn't annoyed. I was actually sad for her. She's an
annoying human being, but she's a human being. Okay, 1 second. Megan Keith and Keith.
Hey, Keith. Hey, Megan Keith.
Hello.
Hey, Megan, I have a job for you, okay? I have a job for you.
Oh, is that why you Come on, don't mind them.
No. We're going to talk about the movie. But I just have an idea, right? Nobody. Okay. People only use VR for porn, right? That's the only thing VR is used for is porn, right? Only thing, right? The most amazing technology ever created, so you can come on someone's tits. Which don't get me wrong, freaking awesome. Okay, I am all on board for that. I am all on board. You know, it's 100%. But really, can we think higher, right? And listen, as they use it exclusively to make pornography, like of all the, it can't be that complicated or expensive. Now, can it? It can't be that hard. So here's what I want you guys to do.
Now, boy, you're 15 minutes in, right? You're 15 minutes in. You've already probably limited your strain. You do not.
Listen, I'm not sure you're here all the time. I at the first 3 minutes, I talked about necrophilia sex.
This is a rabbi. This is a rabbi.
He's a very spiritual person.
Yeah! It's going to be like tomorrow, Ian, when we do aliens. Jesus.
No, that's tomorrow. I'm going to watch that. Yeah. Anyway,
Lee sent me a message last night, right?
What are you talking about?
Texted me last night and goes, I'm going to watch Aliens now, right? Because we have to watch it tomorrow for the film vote.
Yeah, I totally got my days mixed up.
I'm thinking, hang on for a minute. So I look at the phone, and an hour later I realised, and I'm like, oh shit, I better text Lee back and tell him. It's only Tuesday. It's only Tuesday. You don't have.
I've got half of it done, so it's all good.
It's funny.
It's the director's cut, isn't it?
It's only Alien. Yeah. You have to do Alien as well. You can if you want to.
I know those movies. I don't even have to watch those movies. I know
I've watched them so many times.
You gotta watch them. That's the point of the show. You gotta see. This is a room to production meeting we're having here. Keith, do you want to join us in Video Vault tomorrow night?
Aliens. It's Aliens, Keith.
Oh yeah. Aliens is awesome. Yeah.
Okay, so we do a show each week, Wednesday about this time, right? About an hour where we talk about the movie. For like an hour. That's basically it. And we just
if it's a movie that we hate, it's normally an hour. If it's a movie that we want for about an hour and a half, it all depends.
That's right. That's about right. There's often times you get movies you hate because it's all movies that I like, and I have a weird ass taste.
Although we did the Italian Job the other day and the other week, and it was It was over really quickly as well because all we could say was just good things about it.
It's great. So this is how my taste was apportioned, right? You imagine putting out a little like cup for every taste. You're like comedy, all these right, every million different things, right? And then imagine like God somehow coming over these things, right? So it's very random. You never have no idea. Flat. You have no idea where it's gonna go, right? He likes Carry On movies. He likes Downton Abbey.
It is, and I think he's getting worse.
All over the place. I keep trying to get towards Pacific Rim. They won't watch it. They won't watch Pacific Rim, and it's freaking awesome. You're so wrong. Pacific Rim is freaking awesome, and you're wrong. Okay, I want to. It's not that you're wrong. I can just say you are wrong. It's a freaking awesome movie.
Come here for a minute. Come here. That Pacific Rim is one of the worst movies ever made.
It's fantastic. Everybody sat in the bathtub with a little robot and a little monster went.
You know what?
I would rather watch Wally.
Keith, if you join in tomorrow, this is what you're in for, mate. This is what you're in for. So what can I say?
It's much like
interesting.
To talk about the film, but he talks about the film himself, and then he just, when it feels like asking us for an opinion, he asks us.
I ask every plot point I spot. So good. I'm so good.
We love it. To be honest, it's brilliant. I love this movie actually that we're watching tomorrow. I watch it a couple of hours before we come on, so it's fresh in the memory. So I'll watch it tomorrow. But it is one of my all-time favorites, I have to be honest. But Alien is the better movie. And I'll still stand by that. Rabbi.
Rabbi, did you send Father Millar Alien?
Yes, Alien and
All
Alien.
right.
Send them both.
Oh,
Anyway, guys, wait. I have a job for you. For Megan and Keith, right? I want a VR movie. This is the movie. I'm giving you it's the cheap one to do, right? First scene.
You have to have a load of women with big boobs in it.
No. It's like none of that. First scene, green screen. He's in a chair. It's Wolf 359. He's a captain on the ship. All hands abandon ship. And you have an abandoned ship sequence. Boom, cut down. He's in an escape pod and he crashes. Right? He crashes. The rest of the movie.
The Kurtzman. This is the shuttlecraft Kurtzman, right? With
exactly. And then you this is this is like it was single-handed Galileo 7, right? So you have like the one, and you have this one like recording device, which is the POV of the viewer, right? So you go in with Keith, you are putting right, you put all out there. So, and I just think it'll be good. I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be cheap to produce. I think it'd be like, okay, imagine it kind of like The Martian, and I saw your movie you made. You lying piece of crap. That is not a micro-budget movie.
It is
not a micro-budget movie.
It is. Guess how much it costs.
Like a real proper movie.
Guess how much it costs.
Not a micro-budget movie. I don't believe you.
It is. Guess what the budget was on it? It
must have been like, what, $200,000?
No.
I mean, you had real actors in it, like big acting and chase scenes, and it was like a real movie. What do you want me to tell you? It was like that and on Good Friday. You know, they look the same.
Do you want to know how much the budget?
I can't know the difference.
Do you know what the budget was on that film?
What was the budget?
$8,000.
Yeah, $8,000.
$8,000.
Wait. I can give you $8,000 to have a movie.
But just for inflation.
Mother, really?
Yes.
If I do one of these Kickstarter, okay, here's my thing. If I start doing these Indiegogos, which is my plan for the channel, start doing these Indiegogos, right?
Yep.
And if I can get that to kick off, like if your boy Zach, everyone he does is like $40,000, right? I could so finance a movie. Get out of here.
The thing is, though, you have to know what you're doing. See, this is the problem with filmmakers.
I would pay you.
What? Look, when you have
how is this complicated?
When you have $8,000, right, and you have no choice, you have to figure ways how to do it with hardly any money, and we figured it out.
I know how to do it. I'm giving it to you. You've already done it several times, right? So it's okay.
Do you know when you go on Facebook and you see these people saying, "I'll teach you how to make a low budget film"? They got nothing on me, mate. Absolutely nothing. I made Bad Day on $8,000. Nobody believed me.
I'm like, how did you fool all those actors then on $8,000?
How long
did that shoot?
They did it for free. It was at the end of the day, it was a 3-week shoot.
Right.
And if you watch the making of, you'll see how we did it. We had loads of rehearsals. I mean, Keith can testify to this.
Okay, scratch my first idea. Doctor knows what, yeah. That's what we want. Tackle the cyber.
That was right. It is about the babies.
Pink Bandit. Hashtag Pink Bandit.
Actually, talking about the classic Who Watch Along, just want to make a little slight announcement, actually. Sunday's Ballstrek will not be joining us. And the reason for that is, and I'm just going to make it brief and short, is the fact of all the drama that's going on Twitter and YouTube. And he feels like he's basically said it out straight. He's sick of the whole community. So he's taking a step back from doing live streams with anybody. So he won't be live streaming with us on Saturday for the foreseeable future. So, and by the way, just in case it gets spun out there by anybody that me and Ballstrek are somehow fighting with each other, it's not. He's just taking a break from a very toxic community, and I actually don't blame him. So, yeah, he won't be around.
Yeah, no, I would honestly, I wouldn't say take a break, But like, I would 100%.
Hey, get this. I've got not only the J bots after me. I've got
I saw
Matrix Lord after me, and now John the White, the
it.
not my doctor guy after me. So I've got it coming from every angle.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. All I would say on that is we're not actually going to say that. We're going to let the guy self-destruct himself. But all I'm just going to say on that is
he is. But like, I wouldn't respond.
Yeah,
I really wouldn't respond to anything. Okay, I'd like just you'll be set free if you just don't respond.
Yeah,
and it'll just make your life so much better. It'll take so much stress.
But I just need to get this out. You can get as much help as many people as you want. Just goes to show you that you actually have no friends in this community, and you have to rope in. Actually,
right. I'm just saying. I'm saying
problems with. You've got to rope in people that we've had problems with. So good luck with you. They've tried before and they failed, and you're going to try and fail just like the rest of them. And that's all we're going to say on that. Me and Dee are finished talking about it. We're not going to talk about it anymore, discuss it anymore. And nobody send us any photographs because we don't want to know what the lunatic has to say anymore.
Right.
We
don't care. That's where we are with this. We don't care.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the chat because I missed a bunch of people. Oh,
you
man.
did. You didn't even introduce Keith or Ian properly, though.
I know. I got excited. Oh, problem bit. I'll give me a minute. I'll introduce everybody. It said Colin P. Smith. Hello to you. Fine. Let's go back. Okay. Nobody knew yet. Rebecca Gold, but you're here. Okay, a comic black belt. I said hello to. How you doing? I'm totally blanking what your real name.
Check out Rebecca Gold if you haven't. There's something wrong with you. Go and check it out. You want to see?
Oh yes, that's why we got carried away talking about this movie. Well, I say here we are years ago. Yeah, I saw that. That's on Netflix. There's like 3 of them now, which I watch over and over again.
Titanic. What's that Ratchet show? I wanted to ask Ian because you're into filmmaking and stuff, but you're all about the scenery and the frames. Have you watched Ratchet on Netflix?
No, not yet, but I do plan to. I haven't gotten round to it.
Well, I'll be very interested to know what your opinions are on it because I think it's a real filmmakers. It's a kind of like classic old-fashioned way of directing. Even some of the scenes, it's just unbelievable.
Check it out. I wasn't going to watch that. I watched the first episode then, see if they have it.
Yeah,
I also want to see Fargo. I heard the new Fargo.
Cheryl was the one that suggested it, and I was like, as you know, I'm like, no, I can't. Come on, really? And then she was like, yeah, it's good. So she was right. Yeah, it is.
Have you guys checked out Snowpiercer?
Snowpiercer
on Netflix. It's
I
really
got so
good.
bored with it. Rabbi.
I loved it. I really liked it.
Well, if you haven't seen Ratchet, that you do, it is actually sick. The acting is superb, and the story writing is just superb. Story writing is superb, and it has a diverse cast, believe it or not. But it doesn't affect it because, as I said, what do we always say? If the story writing and the storytelling is good, then we're on to a winner. I think it's very good. I don't know if anybody on the panel has seen Ratchet, but I would actually recommend it.
I'll give it a go.
We ended up watching like 6 episodes or something, and we took a break and then we watched the rest. Like once you watch, you can't stop watching. So it's one of them.
Let me catch up on the chat for a second. Deca Flavor, how you doing? Kathleen McManus, how are you? Matt Jones will not be buying the game. Good evening, sir. So let me keep going through the chat. Tyler Summer said hello to you already, but I'll say hello.
Yeah, Adam is here as well.
Gary Hewitt, how you doing, Gary? Colin P. Smith. Alien Special Edition. Yes, exactly. That's what we're doing. Derek McMahon is here. Great grandfather fought in the First World War. He was really? Also by trade. They told him he could do it in the army, and then stuck him in the trenches. Yes, that is that's some regular army thing. Is here and says some Cosmo Rabbi going into town. I felt so bad. I realized I was doing it as I was doing it. I was in the middle of saying it. Yeah, I felt like a bit. Yes, schmuck. I felt like a bit of a schmuck. Indeed. I really didn't. Yeah, I didn't mean that.
So what did you bring us on to talk about? You said there was something you brought us on.
Let me get a chat. There's Derek McManus over here. Talking about his. No, that's Kev L. I'm nearly caught up. I don't see anybody new.
The time prophet.
Okay, fine. So let's start off with Bad Day. As Keith and Megan Geek here. Let's start with Bad Day. Bad Day is a micro budget movie which doesn't look it. It's a micro budget movie which looks really good. I watched it today. It's really good. It's really freaking good. You know, you don't listen. I don't want to be mean, but I'm always surprised. I know something terrible, you know. Where somebody says, "Oh, here, listen to my band," and you're like, "Oh God, no, really? This is really good."
Yeah, I watched it myself as well. It's a really good, intriguing story, and you got again empowered lead female characters, and not a woke element inside.
Excellent. Yeah, great cast. Lots and lots of very, very, very attractive women being very, very attractive a lot of the time. That was nice. I like that. Yeah, something for the dads and the rabbis. It was very good. So the plot is roughly there's a woman who's a minicab driver. The minicab firm is doing dodgy stuff. Mini-cabbing around packages for people. You kind of pick that up straight away. She's got her daughter with her, and she's something with her husband. It's not really working out, and she leaves her daughter with the dodgy neighbor. Right? I think the fair way to describe it. And then she goes to work doing her dodgy driving stuff. All the same time, there's a whole police intrigue going on. That was all cool. I tell you, I love the whole cast. I really do. I love the whole cast.
What, even Keith?
Okay, Keith. Well, I didn't even know you were so good. I didn't notice you in it.
That's what happened.
No. That is a good thing. Like, okay, whenever I see anything with Nick Briggs in it, I'm like, oh look, there's Nick Briggs. I'm never like, oh look, there's a Chancellor. It's like it's always Nick Briggs, right? I'm always pulled out.
You didn't notice Keith?
Who was? Which character was he? I was actually kind of looking for him as well. Everybody was black. I'm trying. Who was black in it?
Yeah, I'm very versatile as an actor. You see, I can do black as well.
Keith was the guy that got he got Abby Barrett pregnant. He was the guy. He was the police
piece of shit.
Yeah. That was Keith. Yeah.
The really, really mean guy.
Oh my God! Because you're so nice. Okay, here's the truth. You're so nice. You can't read. I think this is the same with what's his name? The guy from Battlestar Galactica, James, the Hispanic. James
Yeah.
Right. So like when he's like being himself, he's this like really kind of like relaxed, kind of sweet, meek person. But when he becomes like, Commander Dobbyn, he's like a military guy, right? His body language changed. Same with you. I didn't recognize you because like you were too sleazy. That's really, okay, that's excellent. So even more, you got to do that movie, okay?
Well, Keith is a good actor. What can I say?
Who knew?
well, apparently nobody still. But anyway, we made that film 14 years ago now. I mean, it was a long time ago. I can't believe we're even talking about it this long after the event. But that was one of 4 independent features that I did that same year. And at the time, I thought, oh, this is it. Maybe this is the start of my career. And guess what? Here we are, 14 years later, talking about.
But you know what? You've got to build your career yourself now. It's better now than it's ever been before for people like you and me, right? It's better than it's ever been before, because it's a wasteland out there. It's going to hit the movie into the acting soon, right? I mean, acting, but like the industry, it's a way for me for comics. It's a wasteland out here. I'm kind of on getting on a level playing field with DC. Like suddenly I've gone from being like invisible to being like being especially having this channel. That's the thing. That's why I started the channel, 100%. But like, you should do like, well, what do you want to do with acting? What would you like to do?
I think it's
have a career, make some money. You know, just work would be good. This is why it's been fun to Rebecca Gold, because thanks to E being so loyal. But yeah, I mean, I'm happier than when I'm working. It would be nice to be working and getting paid for it, but hey.
Yeah,
why don't you do a weekly talking head video?
Well, everybody does that though. That's nothing new.
No, but it's like that's what I'm talking about, especially if it was interesting stuff. I would totally go back there. I would watch that. This is where people don't watch BBC. They'll see that on their phone, and people get to know you. I'm saying it's a war of attrition. You just keep putting shit out there. Just keep putting.
Well, that's the conclusion I've come to, because literally I've been trying to get into the industry all my life, and for various reasons I couldn't. I ended up in the independent sector, and when you, as I've told Keith before, come to the conclusion that the only thing that makes you happy is creating, and that's what I do. I just create stuff now, and I don't expect anything back from it at all, because
I still you made that on $8,000.
Because
nepotism and cronyism is really hard to.
Yeah, I mean, with Bad Day, we had a big pop star in it, Sarah Harding. We had a big TV star in it, Claire Goose. We had Donna Eyre. We had the guy from Snatch.
Distribution. Well, how was that?
Yeah, exactly. So basically, the distributor that took it on, they didn't do anything with it. Nothing. They didn't even know who Sarah Harding was. And it was absolutely crazy.
Yeah,
there you go.
That's the poster.
Other than she was very hot, right? She was a blonde, very hot woman. No, the blonde, a very hot woman, right?
You mean Donna Eyre?
Oh yeah,
Donna Eyre.
Which well, who was that? Who was the one?
Donna plays the rookie cop, the skinny girl with the blonde hair. She plays the pregnant girl.
The one who gets stuffed up. Yeah.
The one who gets really stuffed up. Yeah. No, the person you said before that.
What, Claire Goose?
No, Claire Goose is probably after that one.
There's
Sarah Harding.
Sarah Harding.
Who was Sarah Harding?
She was the girl that got killed. She had dark hair. She was in the back of the cab.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Hot woman number 4. Right. I forgot. You know. Yeah. That was a big trip to the spank bank right there, watching that. Remember.
It's so terrible. And this guy's a rabbi. I can't believe it.
He's a deeply spiritual man.
I thought I was joining a religious channel. What's going on?
Well, we know his religion is boobies.
It's a very important part.
Right, so
let
me explain to the people that are watching this, although there might not be anybody watching after what he said. Yeah. But the film is basically a cop movie. It's a cop movie shot in England, right, which is very rare. And it's basically a tribute to the 70s and 80s movies. They have all these things in those movies, and if you notice,
it felt contemporary to me. It felt like it didn't
like
feel
the anti-Dempsey and Makepeace.
Yeah.
It was just like, yeah. Okay, here's what it was like for me. If they made movies today and they weren't morons, right? And just imagine they made a movie and they weren't morons. They made a movie to be entertaining, right? And they just did that. I just made it to be an entertaining movie that I wanted to continue watching, right? And they would do movies the same way they did them back in the 70s and 80s. They'll do that now because that was what that was, and that was what this movie is. It was really.
We tried, we tried to do that. Exactly as I'm saying, we basically try to do homage to those movies. So anything in those movies you saw, like for instance, Clint Eastwood had those sayings, didn't he? You know, make my day, and what was the last one? So we had our main cop had a line. what was the line again? I can't remember.
Something about tomorrow.
Same day.
Same shit, different
day.
Yeah. So we were doing all the things that the cop movies did. I mean, even in Lethal Weapon, they have that. Yeah, I'm too old for this shit. And, yeah, and that's what we were doing.
It was fun.
It was. It's fun to shoot as well, actually.
Now I'm going to go back and watch the making of it because I really enjoyed it. Like, how many days was that shoot?
I think it was just over 2 weeks. Just over 2 weeks. We did a couple of pickups, as I recall. We did a pickup with Keith and Donna in the bathroom. Remember that, Keith?
Yes.
Where
yes, I remember. I remember. Because when they were doing the two shot, it was me and Donna Air, but when they were doing close up, it was just me and Air because she wasn't there.
she left.
So I had to act to nothing. So yeah, I remember it very well.
You're horrible.
Just had her in later.
I really am. Listen, guys. Okay, this is what you need to be doing, right? As a channel, on a zero budget. Like, as often as you can make them Twilight Zone-esque things, like talking heads, trapped in a room, things like just Twilight Zone-esque things that you could do on zero budget and put that content out. And because you're on such constrained, I would write them for you. I mean, you get other people to write them if you want. Because you're on such constrained budget, right?
Yeah.
That sparks brilliance. That normally sparks brilliance. And then you'll get regular content out, and people will get to know you because, like, you guys can really. I mean, like, I think you guys could probably do that within your ability. Right?
The thing is, I tried doing something like that about a decade ago. A series of short films called the Urban Chiller Tales, which are available on YouTube. And the idea was those were supposed to be small, self-contained, sort of twist in the tail type stories, very much inspired by that whole Twilight Zone, Tales from the Crypt, that kind of thing. And I did 4 in 1 year. And the trouble was, with the best will in the world, they still turn into projects. There's still a lot of work that goes into it, and it still costs money. And the thing is, it's just getting people to see it. Like, I've had that on YouTube for 5 years now, and it's got less than 200 views. And I just think, oh well.
I mean, do
you want to run it on my channel?
What
you want to run it on my channel? I'm happy for you to run.
You're more than welcome.
I'll do a trailer for it. Yeah, this is exactly the content I want to do. It's awesome. Yes, absolutely.
But that's the thing, you see, when you make a low budget film, it does take up a lot of your time, and it is a lot of effort because you don't have any money. And the reason why they did it all for free was because they liked the script. So, like, for instance, Claire Goose, who she was in, what was that show called, Keith? I can't remember what she was in.
Waking the Dead.
Waking the Dead, a very famous BBC TV show, and it was a detective. It was cold cases. That's what it was. And she said to me, she never ran in that show. It was all talking head. She never held a gun because she was a cop in that show. She never held a gun. So when she read my script, she was like, "Oh, I get to fight someone. Oh, I get to shoot someone. Oh, I get to run." So that's what attracted her to it.
Don't get attached to any characters.
but yeah, I mean, that's one of the reasons why.
Violent. But it's not unnecessarily violent. It's more like, that's good violent. It's like Death Wish violent. It's like it really hits that.
It's proper.
You're right. Yeah.
Stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it was interesting. It was an interesting experiment, and also at that time, a reason why we could shoot it for $8,000 is because at that time we were experimenting with digital. It was the first time we shot with a digital camera. Right. That's why it looked very, very digital. Plus, we only had one lens on the camera. That's the only thing we could use. And plus, in those days, today you've got the little disc thing, and you can record hours and hours. We had a big drive on top of the camera that we had to tape to the camera. Yeah, one of them. We didn't have one of them. In those days, you couldn't have one of them. You had to have a big drive on top of the camera so you can record more than 100 minutes. And because the technology wasn't what we got today. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why we could shoot it with $8,000, because we weren't spinning film. We were shooting digitally.
I hear it. No, sorry. I'll put the link in the. I should have put the link in the. I will put the link in the video notes. I'll also put it in the chat in a few minutes. Oh, unless you guys want to do it. It's free. I mean, the price is right.
It is free, and also the reason why it's on my channel for free is because I really despise the distributing company that took on my film, and they did nothing with it. Right?
Yeah,
we had a huge pop star in it.
They totally screwed you over.
Yeah, they screwed me over.
That was a good movie, which I enjoyed.
So now,
and it was a movie that would suck me into watch because you got the free bloody hot chicks on the front cover, and it delivers as well. No, because I am a male. I have that like involuntary response when I see attractive women. I follow. What do you want at me? I mean, it's just what I do. Every human being does this. It's not my bloody fault. I'm not going to look at anybody. It's like my mother. What do you want at me?
Yeah,
they do grow
for you. Put the link.
They
in the
do
chat
grow. Like the Donna Eyre character, the rookie. She had a hard time. All the males had a go at her. Telling her to shut up because she was a rookie and all that stuff. And then at the end, she was the one that saved the day.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And he had a journey.
She had that great. Yes, exactly. It really delivered. And I have to tell you, we got all these genuinely strong female characters. How is this not like? Watch?
I know.
It's beyond me. That it's better than most things new things I've seen Netflix drop over the last year. I mean, it's better than that big action movie they had with was it Ryan Reynolds and a bunch of people?
Yeah, that was terrible.
It really was. It's a much more engaging plot.
Yeah, I think one of the differences was, and correct me if I'm wrong with this, Ian, but you say about the female characters and the black detective and all of this sort of stuff, but I don't believe it was written with any of that in mind. It was just written to tell a story. And do it with those characters, and it wasn't done as a sort of we must have strong women and we must have a black detective and a black boss and all this sort of stuff. The matter, it was just a study and.
Well, you mean there was naturally diversity before all this? Wow, who knew?
I really like these two like low-level hitman gangsters.
Oh,
they were really good.
I'll tell you what, I'd like to see more of them. Actually, I think they were taking that a bit too soon.
I want to see their adventure.
Yeah,
they got what they deserved, though, didn't they?
Oh yeah, I mean, as I said to you before, I'm never going to a Nigerian restaurant with you again.
Even that was a deliberate thing to do as well, because I remember I was talking to Anthony. Anthony's the guy who plays Darius Cruz, who's the main cop, the black cop, and he wrote the script with me together with Alan. And originally the script was a greasy spoon. And he said, why don't we just have a Nigerian restaurant instead? Because I've never been to a Nigerian restaurant. And so he knew someone that owned a Nigerian restaurant. We shot in there. So it became a Nigerian restaurant. Yeah. So there you go. Yeah.
See, that's like that invention that from necessity that improves the script. Because it's more interesting. It's a Nigerian restaurant, right?
Yeah.
It's much more interesting.
Yeah.
I really did enjoy it. Yeah, if you like the Dirty Harry movies, this is kind of like there's lots of people. It's basic. Okay, you know what the weird thing is? It's like the idiot movie executives they say, okay, let's take Dirty Harry and do it with a woman, right?
Yeah,
and it's just awful.
Dirty Harriet.
That's kind of what this is. It was just like
it wasn't. I mean, it's more or less like. Death Wish, but the problem with our character is that she literally loses it, and she'll just shoot someone just to get an answer. If she doesn't get an answer, she'll just shoot someone.
Right? Yes, I know.
Because her daughter's been
kind of liked with this being like bumped off.
Yeah.
So it's very good. It is very good, and they had lots of very good action. I just can't believe there's not like. Some channel doesn't want this. Like, this should be on channel.
Well, no, but the thing is, though, as I said, I'm not in charge of that stuff. When the distributing company took it on, they apparently took it everywhere, and I don't think they did. I think they did nothing with it. I think they wanted it as a loss. That's why they took it on, so they can claim it as a loss. And so now I say, screw them, people can watch it for free on my channel, and that's why it's on my channel.
It's
and also
really
it's got a Doctor Who connection as well. You guys don't know this, but the guy that did the music for Dominic Glynn, he did the music for
Dominic Glynn did the music.
Yes, he did the music. Yeah, he did the music.
The Time Lord.
That's right. That's right. So he did the music for it. So and he
had a cameo in the film.
He did.
He was one of the police officers that worked with mine and Darius's team when we're looking at the flats.
Okay, so again, gentlemen, I just don't understand why you aren't like crowdfunding more projects, because you could.
The problem is that people don't know us.
Easily.
No, look, people don't know us. We're just gradually building.
Listen, you've got a pretty impressive portfolio. Okay,
yeah, that doesn't count, mate.
What?
It doesn't count. I've been there. I've done that, and I've got the T-shirt.
Hey, I'm saying you have to go direct to consumer.
How do you do that?
Right now, this is how you do it. Okay, watch Ethan Van Sciver's channel. I'm telling you, watch Ethan Van Sciver's channel. Okay. And that is a blueprint of what to do. Watch his channel, and you will be able to crowdsource whatever you want to do. In the marketplace there is now, you could probably do it. Yes, with all the channels you're on, you're well known enough.
Sorry,
people.
Excuse my ignorance. Who's that you just mentioned?
Even this guy, he's a comic book artist and writer now. He was basically blackballed from the industry because he voted for Trump, right? And so he crowdsourcing. He's very entertaining. He's an incredibly entertaining YouTuber, like very, very entertaining. So for using his channel as a platform, he crowdsourced a comic. He actually created a movement called Comicscape. He was like a big, force in that. And he got $1 million for his first comic. Wow, right now, he's got like 2 million. And he's able to expand and do more. There's other guy, your boy Zach. Each one of his crowdsource projects go for about 30 to 40,000. He does about 4 or 5 a year, right? You are in that ball, yeah. If you have a good pitch, and I bet you, if you have a good pitch and you have, again, I will say if you can put up $500 worth of stuff to make a trailer, like it doesn't even have to be impressive. Like if you could do that, you could probably pull it off.
Well, I'll give it a shot. I mean, I've got plans coming up, but not this year, next year, because this year is a complete write-off, isn't it? For everyone, in fact. So
20 is great for me.
Yeah. Well, next year I've got plans, so watch this space. But if you ever get the chance, watch Bad Day, because it is a good movie in my opinion, and I'd say that because I made it. And Keith is really good in it, so watch it.
It's real shit.
Mr. Brown says Ian needs to do a short film for Robert Burnett's competition. Oh, well, maybe.
No, Mr. Brown, I don't want to do that.
Nobody wants to do something for a competition. Okay, that's not fun. That's not fun. That's not fun. I've been there as well. Yeah, exactly. Joe Mazzy said that Kickstarter wouldn't make enough money to do another series of Dark Matter. What's Kickstarter?
Kickstarter is like
like Indiegogo. Right.
Indiegogo,
yeah. But aren't they being run terribly? I think
Indiegogo. Yeah, they are now.
They gatekeepers away business. That's not normally a good idea. You don't want to do that. You want to try and keep business, not chase it away. Fine. Okay, we should really get to some of the stories. 55 minutes. Right up there. So where should we start? Okay, we did. You were the big store. Let's start with you guys want to hang around? We'll talk about it.
Don't know what you're talking about.
We'll talk about YAZ. YAZ's Mental Health. Come on. It's got funny.
Oh, for God's sake.
What's she done now?
We're going to go to Radio Times. I think Radio Times is Screen Rant. I think Radio Times.
Keith doesn't know anything about Doctor Who. Keith hates Doctor Who. So there you go.
You're going to enjoy the ridiculousness,
absurdity.
What
are you calling up? I think I spoke about this on Dan's channel. I think Dan's channel's still going. I think. Is it
No,
still
they've
going?
just
That was a
finished
good
that.
panel. I was like, oh, I felt so bad.
Yeah.
As I was on it, like telling you guys to come on, right? I was like, I realized in my head, I'm effectively giving myself a plug in the middle of his stream. And I was like, in the middle of that, what can I do? And I was like, oh, anyway, I apologize for doing that. 1 second. I did that article today. Where was it? YAZ Mental Health. Something about Star Trek Discovery. Who cares?
Oh, I know what the article is. The article that are saying that where Manip Gill says that her character YAZ is mental health issues or
yeah, that's the one. But
it's gonna somehow affect the choices that she's going to make for the upcoming special and series in general. I think is what she's trying to say. She has
I found it. Here we go.
Yeah, she makes me depressed.
Development that actually justifies all of this, right? It's pathetic. She doesn't suffer. I suffer from depression. I've been bullied. I know what it's like. That character has not been bullied and does not suffer from depression because
she gets his affirmed all the time. Affirmation.
Chris Chibnall did his job properly. Yeah, then I'd be convinced. I'm not convinced by her whole character arc. It's an absolute disgrace. Just like when they had that cancer scene with Bradley Walsh and Jodie Whittaker. He just doesn't know how to do characters properly like RTD did. This man's a disgrace, and this is going to be an insult to everybody that suffers from real mental health issues and suffered at the hands
of... It's so facile. It's so facile. And it's not only facile, it's dealt with like, I mean, the way he writes characters is with a sledgehammer. I mean, it's just wallop. And it's just like, there's no foreshadowing, there's no development. It's just, oh, this is how the character is now. You know, from one episode.
So that's bad news for people who have a sensitivity about mental health. That is bad news. I agree. And anybody there who has, human sensitivity to anybody else. But it was very good news for me, because I got to do the thumbnail. I had so much fun putting YAZ in a straitjacket.
Oh, bless.
So there you go. I just, I never miss an opportunity to say, wow,
but this is Chris Chibnall all over, trying to shoehorn these little character traits into them, as Lee has rightly said, like a sledgehammer. And there's nothing, no foreshadowing. And even if it is, it's pretty weak. It's weak. Listen, if she was bullied from episode 1, okay, those two women gave out to her, but she got control of the situation, which I found rather unbelievable because she doesn't look like a cop anyway. But it's saying that we got nothing else to suggest that she was getting bullied except the scene behind the skip with Ryan later on in the series, where she accuses members of the public, because she is a police officer, of calling her a racial slur, right, or being mean.
What was that? I don't remember that.
Remember, she stands
in Rosa Parks,
and she says that people called her. I don't know if I could say the word on air, but they said it in the show. But they used the short word for Pakistani.
Okay.
Yeah, which considering she's in Sheffield or Yorkshire, where it's majority.
I don't buy. I've never bought, because even the actress herself, she doesn't actually do enough on screen to convince me that she actually does suffer from all of these.
Well, she doesn't come across as a cop.
Maybe she should be locked up in that straitjacket along with Chris Chibnall and the rest of them.
I have to say, I do enjoy Alan Moore, looking at her, looking at you and looking at her, very like, you're pitting on being a naughty boy. So I always good to have a bit of Alan Moore. Like, let's look at this.
Ask Ian, ask Keith there. They know how to develop characters, right? If they watch this, if they watch her story thread, just her story thread, and concentrated on her story thread, and actually watch season 11, the special, and then series 12, they could not come back to me and say, yes, she definitely suffers from this is our character traits. She has none. because he doesn't write them that way. He just gets these characters and they're in one scene to the next, to the next, to the next. There's nothing built up. He never builds up his stories and never builds up his characters. And then when he does want to take a box, he'll bring in a gay character for 20 seconds and get a Dalek to obliterate them. That's what he does. He does.
I never really bought the gay astronauts. They seemed very, very heterosexual to me, didn't they?
Yeah, just to fill in Keith, there's an episode where they had two guys and they were gay, and they had a section where they were talking about their relationship in Doctor Who, and this is how bad Doctor Who has gotten. That
and the only reason they were brought in was because in the previous season he had one gay. Well, he actually had two gay characters over two different episodes. Yeah. One was a lesbian, one was a gay man, and they simply were there to announce that they were gay.
And then they were
killed off. And killed them. Oh, my boyfriend!
So it's virtue signalling.
We brought in a gay couple to try rectify it, but it's so cringy. If you're a person from that community and you're watching this, it's disrespectful. He just doesn't respect the people that he's supposed to be writing for.
Also, let me explain to Keith. There's a scene in Doctor Who which really got everybody upset. There's a scene where Bradley Walsh, he plays a character that used to suffer from. He used to have cancer, and he goes up to the doctor and he says, I want to talk to you about my cancer. He says, I'm scared that it's going to come back. And I'm going to be affected by it.
And he's lost his wife as well.
Yeah, he lost his wife. And instead of her going, well, let's talk about it and saying some words of wisdom, you know what she says to him? She says, well, I can't think of anything, but I'm going to go over there and maybe something might come out of my head.
Yeah,
and that's how she dealt with it. That's so that's how bad
it's disgusting.
When I last Doctor Who, which was a long time ago, by the way, but when I last watched it, it was a kids show. So what the hell has happened to Doctor Who if this is what it's about?
If I could explain it this way, Alex Kurtzman and Chris Chibnall are in such a bizarre simpatico that if they were to become lovers, I would feel sure. That whoever it is the wheelbarrow, and whoever is the gardener, in the situation. The receivee would at the same time be greeted by I believe it's called a reach around. Because they're very much in sync together. So that's a rough idea.
The thing is, right, that as Noel pointed out, yes, there isn't the YAZ character. She has no character whatsoever.
None.
She says her lines.
Zero.
She doesn't grow. She doesn't get any better. She doesn't help out in a way that changes the story fundamentally.
Wood.
And she basically does nothing apart from being there. And the only one that had a bit of character was Bradley Walsh's character, only because he was quite funny, naturally funny. But the whole show is just bad.
See, with her character and Tosin Cole's character, they've been written in such a racist way that their character is totally based on their characteristics as being the immutable characteristics.
I have a good way for you to understand this. You see this picture on the screen right now. I don't know what type of emotion she's trying to say. She could be happy. She could be sad. This is what she has. This is her face. It's this, and she has a smile. That and smile. Basically, it was incredible. I remember there's this documentary about.
She's actually standing right there thinking, "I'm way over my head. What am I doing here?" That's what she's thinking. You're behind her saying, "Yeah, we agree with you. What are you doing here?"
Yeah, you were wrong there, Noel, because you said she was thinking. This girl, I'm telling you, if you look through her ears, you will see a butterfly.
This is a woman that complained to Debenhams about a pillow. So
online,
God.
Well,
I do this regular videos called That Age Badly, right? Where I pick out like an interview of people saying it's going to be the greatest thing ever. Everyone's going to love it. It's wonderful, and then it destroys a 50-year-old franchise.
But do you know what? Do you know what, guys? Right? It's good that Keith's here, because Keith can literally tell us when he fell out of love with Doctor Who. Because I remember when I was trying to say, Keith, you know, it's a really good show, watch this. And then he watched an episode and it'd be really awful. Like the one with the flying fish. Do you remember that one, Keith? I said, watch the Christmas special. And he watched that and be like, that was shit.
The Sky Trout, I like that one.
No, but look, it wasn't very good. None of them are really that good, apart from the really good ones.
Gambon.
Yeah,
I like that one. I see. I'm a big.
By the way, this is also a woman that people that cries at movies and TV shows because she doesn't get it. She doesn't get why people cry at movies and TV shows. She thinks there's something wrong with you if you do.
I quite enjoyed that one I took you to see, Ian. I quite enjoyed that one I took you to see at the BFI that had John Hurt in it. That was actually quite entertaining. Yeah. That was actually. I mean, I liked the. I know it's very unpopular amongst fans, but I like the film with Paul McGann as the Doctor. I know the Eric Roberts thing was a bit hammy and over the top.
No,
and all this
great.
Sort of thing,
I loved it. It's great.
He's subtle compared to the current one.
But the thing with me,
a lot of fans have looked at that movie over the years now, and actually they've changed their mind on it. It's not as controversial as it used to be, but I think that's a lot got to do with the current era. Because if you even look back at previous eras, right now they all seem to be Oscar worthy compared to what we're getting right now, and a lot of fans are enjoying going back now. And a lot of these stories, whether it's right or wrong, are being elevated more because of what we've seen in the last 2 years. What we've seen in the last 2 years is unacceptable. From the BBC, from Chris Chibnall and everybody involved in Doctor Who. It's not at the level or the standard that it should be. They have totally forgotten who their fandom actually is. And by the way, it's not just about the fans. You do have to get the general audience, obviously, interested. And what they've done is they've isolated and alienated them as well. 7 million households have tuned out in 2 years. If BBC think that is still a success, well, I'm sorry. You must be smoking some sort of strong herbal something, because there is no way that you can call this era a success. It has been an utter failure. Is it down to Jodie Whittaker? No, it's not all down to her, but it's certainly down to the people that make this show. And they've even told us, remember, they've told us out straight, Ian will tell you this, they've told us out straight, while they're running the show, while they're writing the show, it's not a democracy. We do not have a say. So when you have someone saying that to you, well, then you know then that we should support these guys. They're supposed to
we'll speak with our wallets.
The general public.
The
general public, they can go and set off as far as I'm concerned. And if the show does go to the wall, then they deserve it. It's what the BBC deserve right now.
No, I just have to tell you one thing. You said they have to be smoking some very strong, stimulant. I have to tell you, I have done lengthy research that if any herbal substance can indeed make this era of Doctor Who, Star Trek, or Star Wars any better. I've done a lot of personal, hands-on research, and the answer no, it doesn't.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter. Well, in fact, here's the weird thing. It makes your weed worse. That's how bad it is. Right? It sucks the THC out of your weed. You see, that's what it does. Because it's what's the word? It's a limpet. It's an organism. It's a parasite that sucks from anything. So don't let your marijuana get too close to Jodie Whittaker's Doctor Who. Don't let your marijuana.
You ask Doctor Who fans know what they want. They want Series 13 to be filming ASAP so it could be done and over with. Get this era done and over with. That's what we'd all like in an ideal world. But we know right now that filming hasn't commenced. And that's what's making a lot of us annoyed right now, is because, you know, we want it over. We want this era to be over. Because I don't think it's going to commence. I don't think they're going to start filming. I think this Series 13 could be her last, because, you know, even though that Express article made the show themselves said it was Patrick Troughton that told her to go after 3 years, it was actually Peter Davison saying, do your 3 years and bail out. And that's what she should do. She should do the 3 years and bail out. She shouldn't do any more than that. She hangs on any more than that, there won't be a show. It won't reach the 60th. It's as simple as that.
There won't be a show if she stays another season, because it's going to absolutely show how it's killing it.
Have you heard this rumor? that
the regeneration. Yeah, I've heard that she regenerated to get out of the prison. She'll do a fake regeneration. Yeah, I've heard this rumor. I don't know about this one, Rabbi. I mean,
I think they might just if they're doing a fake regeneration, they may use it.
Well, listen, here's the thing, though. If she does regenerate in this episode, then me and the other people that were saying that a regeneration scene was filmed, because you know a lot of people deny it.
Oh, you'll be so vindicated.
We'll be right. We'll be right. And if it does happen, we were right. It doesn't matter if she regenerates. It doesn't regenerate into someone else. We did say there is a regeneration scene. That's what we said. So if this does happen in this episode, again, vindication. But there you go. We're in a fandom right now. It doesn't matter whether you're vindicated or not.
Can I just quickly congratulate myself on a wonderful Photoshop job?
I think that's thumbnail. That is a great thumbnail. I don't know. I hope she does. I hope she does.
But who cares? Come on. Well, I want to hear. Look, listen, guys. I want to hear why Keith doesn't like Doctor Who. That's what I want to hear, right? We can talk about Jodie till the cows come home, but because Keith is the wild card, I want to hear what he thinks.
When did he stop watching Doctor Who? When did you stop watching Doctor Who?
Let the guy speak and tell us.
We'll find out.
Keith.
Okay. Well, I mean, obviously, like everybody here, I sort of grew up with Doctor Who. When I was a kid, it was sort of the end of Tom Baker and Peter Davison era. And I was kind of really into it at that point. I also really liked the Peter Cushing movies. I know they're not official, but I grew up on those on Saturday mornings, or Saturday afternoon television or whatever, and always liked that stuff. But by the time there was that massive gap, wasn't there, after Paul McGann? And when it came back with Christopher Eccleston, I tried watching it, but to be perfectly honest, up to things at that point, like the reimagined Battlestar Galactica. And that's my kind of sci-fi, dark and serious and adult and all this. And I just found Doctor Who incredibly cheesy. I didn't like it at all. And I gave up on it. And then every year, Ian would say to me, because he's very passionate about Doctor Who, and he and I like a lot of the same stuff, but he'd say to me, oh, give Doctor Who another crack. And I would, and I'd watch it, and I would just think that everything about it is just so shit. I'm sorry, I know I'm going to piss everyone off.
You need to have a love of whimsy.
What it failed to do was to grow with its audience. It failed to grow up with its audience, and I think that I understand that it brought in a new generation of fans. But I think even then, what they should have done was to progress along with them, like the Harry Potter books in a way. Like to get a more older and adult.
If you had, and Keith, do you have kids around then or not?
No.
You said that was for me. See, I grew up loving Doctor Who. I would have watched it and enjoyed it anyway. For me, watching it with my kids, which I basically did from Eccleston, not so much Eccleston, they're a bit young, but from Eccleston through David Tennant, Matt Smith, and they kind of fell out around Capaldi time. That is so much fun. That is so much, and the thing is, because it's kind of like childish. I hear what you're saying. It is kind of like childish, and you got to have. Look, whimsy, right? I
had this conversation with Noel a long time. When I first met Noel, we had this conversation, and I said to Noel, and I think it was you guys there as well. I said, and I agree with Keith. I said the scripts. The problem is the scripts, and Doctor has not grown up. Not even now. It's not grown up. You have terrible written scripts, like for instance, Dr. Mysterio didn't make any sense whatsoever. When you look at the script, it's like it's written by a 10-year-old, even though it's written by Moff. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's the main problem with Doctor Who. Before we got the female Doctor, now it's gotten worse. And I always maintain the scripts need to grow up. It needs to be solid. It needs to make sense. Right? Why would the Doctor listen? Why would the Doctor give a little boy a glass of water and to hold the most powerful thing in the universe in his hand? Why would he do that? And then he swallows it and becomes this superhero. Do you know what I mean? That makes no sense. Something as powerful as that he was trying to. Why would he do that? That's how bad the script is.
Yeah,
you did send me one that was quite good.
Dr. Mysterio, I hate that episode.
Yeah, but that's not the only episode that had errors like that. That had writing that was written by a 10-year-old. Sorry, Keith, go ahead.
You did send me one that was quite good, and I don't know the name of it, but it had Carey Mulligan in it. Blink. Yeah, I thought that was actually quite decent, but then it's because it didn't have too much of David Tennant in it, so it was all right, you know. But
David Tennant did a lot of the exaggerated, loud performance, right? He did a lot of that.
Gurning,
for me, it wasn't gurning. I liked it.
Nothing stopped me from not watching it, though. I really did have faith in the show, and I always hoped that it'd get better. But to tell you the truth, it really didn't. You had few good episodes, like Mummy and Orient Express was really good. Apart from the plot holes, always have plot holes. How did the assistant get out of that locked room? How did she get? There's no explanation. Even today, there's no explanation how she got out of that locked room. In what is it? The Mummy on the Orient Express. Do you remember that episode?
Yeah, that was. I
remember the episode.
How did she get out?
I don't know how. Didn't she pick the lock? She said. I think she said she picked the lock, didn't they?
No, she couldn't pick the lock because there's no lock. It was an electronic thing with numbers. It's like she picked the lock.
I believe you. Listen, I'm not saying I believe you.
I'm just saying the scripts needs logical stuff to happen in it, and it doesn't. Even the best stories have no logical stuff. It's little bits that doesn't happen. It needs to grow up, and that's one of the reasons why I keep saying to Keith, watch this episode, and then when he watch it, it's a big letdown because they have stupid things in it. But anyway,
I don't think Keith is the really the target demographic. He's a sci-fi.
No, but he is the target demographic.
It's not science fiction. It's science. It's science fantasy.
Yeah, but should be 8-year-old kids. It's the same. It's the same kids.
Mentally, the right audience then.
No, it's the same audience that like a robot. That like the robot pirate captain that had a robot parrot. That then had a fight with K9. Doctor Who is a bit silly, and if you don't like it, then I get it. But I guess that silliness, just I think that's something unique about Doctor Who. That's one of the reasons why I love it. I think
not even the Tom Baker ones had holes in the plot
because it's not silly. It's this. This is just it's ridiculous, moronic.
How many people thought the eating bin was rubbish? In the very first episode.
Yeah, I did think it was rubbish. But when you look back at it now,
that's why I didn't carry on with it.
It looked rubbish, but you look back at it now, it actually has the charm of a kind of 2005 series. If you look at it, it kind of has that classic charm now because the CGI doesn't actually hold up. It has that charm. I agree with you, Ian. I actually hated that scene when I originally saw it.
The point of that scene was to get every kid in school talking about it because they made it relatable. They walked past those wheelie bins every day and they played that game. It was for them and it worked brilliantly.
They weren't Daleks, though, were they?
No, they weren't. No, I don't think you're right there, Rabbi, at all. Listen, when it came out, right, we had other stuff that was going on. We had what was the other sci-fis that were out at that time, and they were so much better. And kids used to watch them as well, right? You can't just stay in the old days, and it's not for 8-year-old kids. Even when Chris joined, it was for people like us. People that are in their 30s, it was, and to go down the route and say it's for kids, Doctor Who was for kids in the past, but not now.
Kids, it's accessible to kids. It's a uniquely family audience. It is a family audience. Like Torchwood, it was that more gritty for adults, and Sarah Jane Adventures was more childish for children. Doctor Who was right in the middle. Was right slap bang in the middle.
Well, it's always been a family show rather than a kids show. That's the whole point. It was something for everybody. Yeah, and now it's for nobody.
I just saw Sci-Fi 2005, and there was nothing good on. Will you shut up?
What was on?
Came and went. You missed that.
What was that?
What am I looking at? The Island, War of the Worlds. I like War of the Worlds. That happens. But what else is there? The
Battlestar Galactica was just amazing. That was what I was into.
It was fantastic. I loved it.
Yeah, that was what I was into. So I couldn't deal with Doctor Who.
Yeah, right. And it was fantastic. But that's an adult show. I love that Battlestar Galactica. But that's a very, very harsh adult show getting into like very, very brilliantly getting into headspace. So like the whole occupation thing, I thought was freaking incredible.
You know how many people watched the first episode with Chris in it? How many people? I think it was like 5 million, 6 million.
I did.
Yeah, I did as well, right? And that was the thing, you see, most of the people that watched it, they were fans. They were fans of Doctor Who, most of them. They weren't family.
How many?
They got good word of mouth as well.
The first episode? What did you say? 5 million? There was over 12 million that watched.
There you go. And I bet you a majority of them were fans. They weren't family.
12 million, you're not going to get 12 million. You get. If
it was 5 or 6.
You get like fans. You're going to get like 1.2 million. No, you don't get that. You get 100 million. The amount.
No.
Okay. When Tomb of the Cybermen came out, they were really happy because they sold 20,000 units, right? And that was massive. So let's say it can't be more than 100,000 now.
I doubt
200,000 max. I doubt it. I think so. If you're talking fans. No, and they promoted it really, really well as well. They had, again, Russell T Davies was a not just a brilliant writer for the to bring it back.
Yeah, the promotion for series
as well. He really planned the marketing perfectly, and it did very well. But here it was. It started. It caught on. You know, it got people watching it. People were very, very proud. There was science fiction that was like contemporary and very British, right? It was very, very British. So and it did very well. And then David Tennant came on, who had people loved him, and the rest is history.
Well, whatever.
There's no wrong answer. You know, you're not wrong for not liking it. But I'm saying it was incredibly successful.
No, but what I'm trying to get to you guys, and I'm trying to get you to understand is I can understand why Keith bailed out of Doctor Who, because it was very, very childish, and I keep maintaining that they were aiming for kids, but their audience wasn't kids. It was people like us. It was people in their 30s, you know, and it was a mistake to aim it for.
You had a good mix. Again, it's a family show. You know, that's the point.
No, we were not the audience. We were
of course
not.
We were.
No,
Rusty
Davies said specifically not over and over again.
Well, he was wrong.
He was right because he made it a success.
Yeah,
it was a success because of us.
This is how successful it became.
It was a success because it was a family show. It was a family show.
It became water cooler TV. It reinvented a brand of television. It was a success because it got the normie audience to love it.
Yeah,
it wasn't us.
It was us.
No. You can
wasn't enough of us to make it a success.
Fans can act as sheepdogs, and their excitement is normal to come. That happened, I think, with a lot of the earlier Marvel movies. The fans were very excited, and it got the normie audience to go, and they went, "Oh, this is quite a good movie. I'll go and see another one." Right? That's how the MCU happened, right? But this was not tailored for us at all. That's why they were they've really structured. Like, I've read about this in so much detail. They structured it like they would have, the opening episode, which have like big numbers. Then they got then they waited 2 episodes. Then they had a very high profile effect shot episode, and then they had like episode 6 had Daleks, so they could have another Radio Times cover, and you could figure if it wasn't kicking on, then they could have like a restart on that episode. But it had already taken off by then. People loved it by then. It was fantastically marketed to the and created for the audience that the BBC can't stand nowadays, which is normal people. Normal people loved it.
The Christmas special. It's the festive special. They calling it now. I don't understand.
Do you really care when that special comes out?
I don't care.
I only care.
Photographs doesn't even promote it. Goes to show you they don't even care about the thing themselves. So why should we care?
Jodie couldn't even say the name of it correctly.
All right.
Fine, let's read the bloody article. Okay.
Yeah, because I have to head off now in about 10 minutes. So
same here. Same here.
Right. In one of the most acclaimed storylines of Doctor Who's most recent seasons. No, it wasn't. Fans saw Maddie feels YAZ face up to mental health. But it was terrible. What are you talking about? It was so badly done. It's just blah, 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 blah. Okay, I can't keep reading. The key part of the episode, well, can you hear me? Yeah, blah, 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 blah. And she said, Chris, this is just what she said at the Comic-Con. What the hell?
It's because it's got nothing to write about. That's why.
Yeah, slow news day, because there's no news as usual.
The only thing more boring than this is this photo from the.
Let me explain that to Keith. So basically, they had Comic-Con on Doctor Who, right, Keith? And so they had the four on. They had the girl who plays Doctor. They had Mandy. They had these three, apart from the black guy, and they showed two pictures. One where the Doctor was marking on the wall 'cause she's in jail.
Before you tell
this picture.
They showed them two. They were. This was the big reveal for their big episode.
This is the one. This is the photo to hype up the special. Yeah. This is the photo of Beige Room.
Yeah,
exactly.
Wait. The title of the episode is. You may not have heard of the monster. It's an obscure monster. The title of the episode is called "Revolution of the Daleks." Right, and so we got this picture. And let me see. Let me go back.
Well, that is something that we could shoot in our homes.
Exactly. Yeah. And this picture.
Yeah. So they only put up two pictures. And is that exciting? Does that seem exciting to you, pal? Does that seem exciting to you?
I would have thought they'd have had something with the inside of the TARDIS and something, or a monster or something. But yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm not into it, but so
I don't care either. I'm not going to be watching it. And if people want to watch it, they can watch it.
When people were freaking out about Discworld, I don't want to do this article. When people were freaking out about Discworld, I was like, thank God I never read it. Thank God I never read it.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy what they're doing to Doctor Who. But do you know what? As I said, right, if I'm not going to watch it, I'm going to be relying on Noel and I guess the Rabbi to tell me what happened in that episode, because I have no interest in watching any more of this stuff at all. Now I've become like Keith. I do not want to know anymore.
Don't blame me.
I'm not blaming you. I'm just saying I've become like Keith now.
I hate
wasting my time
watching it. I do it for the channel. Speaking of which, hit the subscribe button if you subscribe. If you subscribe, you can enter my weekly competitions. The prize this week, I'm going to put myself on big for this because it's a good prize. We have there we go. You win Shakara, this graphic novel. I'm putting out a video about it as soon as I finish the stream. And Red Razor's freaking awesome Judge Dredd spin-off set in Eastming 2. All you need to do to win it is subscribe to the channel and in the comments leave the hashtag Zarjaz. There you go.
Zarjaz.
What time is this thing tomorrow? Are we going live tomorrow with it?
We'll go live tomorrow. Do you want to do it 5:30?
Yeah, sure. I don't mind.
Yeah, cool.
You guys all right? 5:30.
Yeah.
It's about aliens.
Do you
the
want to
director's cut. Keith, you joining us?
Well, put it this way: if it's to do with Cameron's Alien, yes, I can contribute because that's something that I love and know a lot about. Whereas Doctor Who, I don't have a.
Okay, fine.
You're in.
Yes, you passed the test. Congratulations.
So what do we do?
Well, basically, we actually tell you what we think of it, and talk about the movie. It's just talking about the movie.
Retrospective, basically.
Yeah,
fair enough. And
but you've got it. Have you got it? You've probably got it on DVD or something.
Oh my God! I've got it on Blu-ray. So I've got it. I've got it on every format you can imagine. So, I love the first two movies of that franchise. I love the first
same
two
here.
movies.
Yeah.
What else can I ask you? What do you think of movie number 3?
I actually don't mind it. But it had its production problems, obviously. So,
if you're going to watch it, which version would you watch?
Well, I kind of like the work print version that they've got on the happier side, because that is. But then again, you know, you have to understand that Fincher has endorsed that in any way, shape, or form. So, whereas a lot of no, not at all. In fact, he won't have anything to do with it. Yeah, no, he won't have anything to do with it. So, but yeah, I mean, bullied. It's you know, it's a flawed movie. I think everything after the second one, all of them have had their problems, although they've all had good elements as well. But yeah, the third movie, there's a good movie in there. It's just that it got interfered with a lot. So
right.
I don't actually like the Aliens 3 at all. He had so many problems with people were interfering. Read up a lot on it. Alien franchise, my favorite, and I do agree with you, Keith. After 2, the rest of them have all of them, even Resurrection. That could have been a good movie, but that kind of went off the tail end. They all had problems. Salvation was the same, and then what did they do? Genesis. That would have been a great movie.
You're in Terminator.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Well, the franchise with a similar problem.
I know.
Terminator is a franchise with exactly the same problem.
And Alien Covenant.
I enjoyed Covenant and Prometheus. I prefer Covenant.
I nearly fell asleep in the cinema.
They're both terrible.
They're terrible. You ruin the Lord of the Alien. You ruin the Lord of the Alien. There's no point of the Alien anymore.
That's right.
Yeah. It's like giving Darth Vader's origins away. You give Darth Vader's origins away, well, then you lose that mystery around.
Well, they did give it away.
Yeah, and that's what they did with this. It's like man created Alien, so full circle. Load of crap. Get away. Ruined the Alien franchise.
Keith.
Ridley Scott, go to bed.
Have you played the Alien game? Was it Alien Isolation?
Yeah.
No. I unfortunately I tend to watch so many movies and TV shows that I just can't make time in my life for gaming, even though I think it's very cool. But it's not something I do.
I like that. I very rarely play. I very rarely game. If you're somebody who loves the original Alien and loves Aliens, you would love that game. It's worth the 8 hours you're going to put into it. If they ever make a VR version of it, don't do it because it's terrifying.
I'll tell you something I am into is there have been some because I do a lot of driving, and there have been some excellent audio dramas produced that fill in some of the gaps between the Alien movies with a full cast, you know, done like a proper full-on audio drama that are available through Audible, and they're really worth your time if you're into the Alien franchise.
I had a subscription, but I haven't listened to them yet. Okay, good. I'm glad they're good. And they're really good.
I mean, they take a few liberties, obviously, but they're good. But yeah,
there's supposed to be some very good Alien fan films as well. Do you know of it?
Don't know.
I actually don't know, but I dare say there are some fantastic ones out there. In fact, this is the thing. There's some brilliant fan films for a lot of franchises out there. Right. And I'd love to be in them.
No. You said you have to go in a second.
I have to go. Yeah, I'd love to stay on, but I promised that I'd watch something tonight with Charlotte. It's my day off, you know. So.
Okie dokie.
Oh yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us.
I'm back tomorrow with you, and then back on my own channel and all that. So I'll be back tomorrow. It's Wednesday. So listen, thanks for having me on, Ian, Keith. Nice to see you again.
Cheers, mate.
Wingman. Thank you.
Talk to you soon, mate.
See you soon.
And just keep doing what you're doing, mate. Just block.
I am.
Right, Rabbi, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it, man. And everybody in the chat, thank you. And I'll talk to you all very soon. See you later.
Now. Bye.
Bye.
All right.
Does anybody else need to go?
No,
I do fairly soon.
Me as well. Yeah.
I'll let you guys.
I've got to jump.
Go check out your movie Bad Day. it's so much better than you described it. It's so much better.
Thank you.
It really is. It really is.
I'm working tomorrow, so I'm working tomorrow, but I will hopefully be back in time to join you. Because I'd love to join you, but 5:30 might be cutting it a little fine. But I will try.
Coming in the middle, it's fine. It's whatever.
Oh, okay.
You can make it till that's fine. So you're gonna know where we are.
Send me the link. Yeah, I'll be there.
Okay.
Thanks for having me on.
Did you ever? This must have been in early 90s, right? I was back in London on vacation. I went to the Alien Experience in the Trocadero.
Went to that.
Amazing. That was amazing. So
that was scary.
Yeah. So basically, if you go in, you're in a group of people, and they got people dressed as Space Marines, like Colonial Marines, and they're all American, and they're all cool. And then, okay, we're going to take you into a facility. We're going to see a xenomorph. It's all locked down. Everything's safe. You're waiting there. And then he goes out. He says, I'm going to get clearance. And then suddenly the lights go off. Then this red light, security light comes and goes, The room looks exactly like you're in Aliens, right? He comes in with his pulse rifle. He's like covered in sweat. Says, they broke it out. We got to get it. He takes you running up and down corridors. And occasionally a guy in an alien costume goes, and there's a stroke. But it's so much fun. It was. Listen, I've been to Epcot. I've done a lot of very cool stuff. Still the best. Still fantastic.
Not like there anymore, though, Rabbi. Trocadero's not there anymore.
Trocadero's not there.
I used to work there at the Rock Circus many moons ago.
I've been there. So
listen, I've got to go, Rabbi. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming.
Me too. I better go.
Ta-da,
Speak to you soon. Bye. Thank you.
Boom. And then there were two. Let's pull up this article about Alan Moore, because I always like a bit of Alan Moore. I believe him to be a prophet. I do actually. I believe he's like very nearly tuned into, like he's
a Kabbalist, isn't he? So
No, he's not. He's a magician.
But he uses Kabbalism as part of his chaos rituals. Guaranteed.
I'd love to talk to him about it. But I feel he's like really tuned into some like really advanced deep truths that are in like that are in these ancient philosophical and Kabbalistic texts. They I genuinely believe him to be a prophet. I like him a lot. I don't entirely agree with him. I almost always understand him. But I don't understand him when he's writing, because he's much cleverer than me. He's invented this incredible copy protection scheme where he makes things too hard to read if you're a dummy, and you got to work at it to work it out.
I actually got to see him,
gentlemen.
I actually got to see him do a reading. It was live at. There was this guy called Robert Anton Wilson, who was a big sort of author hero of mine. He wrote some very interesting books on magic and things like that. And it was he had recently passed away, so they did a big event at the Queen Elizabeth Hall in the South Bank, and Alan Moore was doing a reading from, I think it was Cosmic Trigger. If it wasn't Cosmic Trigger, it was from the Illuminatus trilogy.
Oh, I love that. I do.
But it was fascinating.
If you can find it, there's a very good audio called The Unearthing. No, not The Unearthing. I can't remember what it is. I'll send it to you, but it's by was it Lex Records? I'm not sure if you can still get it. It's very, very good. I think is it The Unearthing? Might be the Unearthing. You know what? I'm going to open iTunes. As this is, but that's going to take forever to open. But while it's doing, we can start reading this. Alan Moore really does interviews, but he's researched for a new one. It might not surprise you to learn the Watchmen creator, who has disowned some of his own work and largely disowned the adaptations, completely adaptations of his novels, doesn't really care for the boom period of superhero cinema he's currently in. Yeah, I think he feels nothing but guilt and shame for the decline of our culture through a glut of superhero movies, most of which were very good, I have to say. But I think he's like
I think he has a point. I think the message he's conveying is kind of it's kind of obfuscated by the way that he says it. But I think he does have a point. I think, you know, the corporatization and commercialization of superheroes, and especially now with the new wave of Marvel, the way that they've taken it, it's become a parody of itself. And I think that's where a lot of this big money is going, is being thrown at these things because, you know, it sells T-shirts.
They worked out the economics of it, that they would make $1 billion even if they're bad. So I mean, they got to do it a few times. I think they're out a lot now.
Hypnosis,
Fine. Let's read what he has to say. Okay, Moore opened up to Deadline that he thinks superhero movies are a blight and an infantilizing. Infantilizing. I knew I had that. Oh, thank you. Oh, that's why I keep it around. Infantilizing influence on culture, absolutely. Most people equate comics with superhero movies now. He said, which he finds troubling. Yeah, I can hear that.
Well, I would love to see a film version of Grant Morrison's The Invisibles. That would be great. Something different rather than just the Marvel DC, Marvel DC, Marvel DC, Marvel DC.
If they're going to do a superhero movie, do something different, like Red Sun. Have you ever read Red Sun?
Yes.
Red Sun is basically Superman if he lands in Russia, as opposed to
communist Russia.
It's a really cool comic series. Okay, so that adds another layer of difficulty for me. He continues, I haven't seen a superhero movie since the first Tim Burton Batman film. They have blighted cinema. They have also blighted culture to a degree. He's absolutely correct. Moore would then add, several years ago, I said I thought it would be really worrying sign. I thought it was a really worrying sign that hundreds of thousands of adults were queuing up to see characters that were created 50 years ago to entertain 12-year-old boys. So very good point he's making here.
But I think as well, because the world is so complex and so rotten half the time, I think, people who want to retreat into that time where they felt safe and felt, they can escape this crazy world. I don't blame people for that. We all do that in our own way,
Right.
But, he does have a point. But at the same time, you have to look at how the psychology of people works in such a stressful time.
Yeah, I got his book he wrote, Jerusalem. I got it in book on tape and in print. The print's it's so small. I can't bloody read it. And it's so thick, too much. But the book on tape, I got to make a project to listen to it. It's like 30 hours long. It's like that's what I mean about how he copy predicts stuff. There's no one going to be able to rip that off. You got to even this comic I'm looking at on screen right now, was it Tempest, right? League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. It's so dense and hard to read. It takes forever. But yeah, you got, and this is his fun thing he's doing. You got to persevere. Okay, they say, that seems to speak of some kind of longing. Oh, yes, exactly what you're saying. That seems to speak of some kind of longing to escape from the complexities of the modern world and go back to a nostalgic time remembered in childhood. He continued that seemed dangerous. It was got to get the infantilizing. There you go, infantilizing the population. It absolutely was.
Well, I don't think it's necessarily infantilizing. I think it's. I think adults are fully aware that they're adults, and and I don't think it's making you go back to being a child again, like in a sort of transmography. It's more.
Do they?
It's more just a sort of psychological cushion, It's I guess. I mean, if you do something that reminds you of your childhood, I don't think that's infantilizing. I think if you're infantilizing, means you haven't grown up and you want to play with your toys, and you always want to kind of hang around in your little shorts, and I guess there are some adults who are like that, and that's fine as well. But I think people who sort of collect the toys, collect the merchandise, and surround themselves with it, it is like a kind of shield to the crazy world. And I think it's okay. It's perfectly okay to be a child in the sense of retreating back to that.
What I think the point he's making is this: that it's a dangerous sign for culture and society that we are without shame not being adults. like in cinema,
it's hard. It's hard. It's hard. You know,
cinema up until I would say 2005 was always more or less, you know, like for grown-ups, you know, predominantly, and now it's predominantly for children. Which is the economics of it, and I think the economics of it made sense but it's I
think it's a universal appeal, really.
It's as if McDonald's became the predominant food source, so food culture, right? It took over the food industry, and
cinematic junk food, basically.
Yeah, and he's I think that. He's not saying that it's a problem with the movies in itself. He's saying these movies are going to make for stupid people.
A cultural cul-de-sac.
Yeah, well, not just it's not. There's no. It's removing an engine of growth from society.
Yeah, right? Cul-de-sac, so it's not actually going anywhere. It's kind of stagnant.
It's going, but it's going slow. It's like crippling, I think. Whatever. It's this sort of analogy. Okay, more than express his belief. That the phenomenon of 12 of the highest grossing movies of 2016 being comic book related, it has something to do with Trump being elected, whom he calls a National Socialist Satsuba. See, this is where I disagree. I think this is just we have a strong cultural difference. So he is from the working classes, and he's like a lefty from there. I don't think he's an anarchist. So Trump is the ultimate traditionalist conformist.
Well, I don't know how you could be any more anarchic than Trump.
Which in this universe makes you anarchic, exactly, because the predominant culture.
Well, Johnny Rotten is backing him. You know, I mean, you want to talk about anarchist, you know.
Exactly. And the UK leaving the EU. Again, I think. You are a product of your culture and your environment, and I think anybody is. And I just disagree with him. But whatever. I nothing but respect for the man. Not to say that one
people are different,
the other, but I think. Listen. I got to go and think about this, because if he says it, I got to think about it, because there's got to be some strong argument behind it, right? Not to say that one. Not that I'll agree with it, but I think I'll be interested to hear his thought process that brought him to that. Not to say that one causes the other, but I think they are both symptoms of the same thing: a denial of reality and an urge for simplistic and sensational solutions. Oh, I hear that. Yeah,
but I mean, we're talking about a guy who calls himself a wizard and talks about denying reality. Where his ideology is one where he can create his own reality. So I think it's a bit of a double Dutch, really.
But I think what he's saying is,
you can't have it one way and then say that the reality is another.
It's like reality,
especially if you believe you can create your own reality out of magic.
See, I tend to agree with them. I think we do create our own reality.
Well, I'm not saying one way or the other, but I'm just saying you can't therefore then go on to decry reality as this sort of.
Okay. So I think it's like this. I think there's the standard reality, right? The standard, objective universe. Which is relatively dumb in a lot of places. And you want to, but then you have that standard universe, and you want to deny it. And then you have if you're conscious of it, you are able to create your reality to a certain extent, which is what I think Adam Moore by directed thought, whatever, that sort of stuff. And I do think that works. 9 times out of 10, I think it's not 100% successful, but nothing is. And so so you're on a different plane of if you're checked out from regular reality, you can create your own reality, but most people aren't checked out. So I think that's where he is with it. When I entered the comics industry, the big attraction was that this medium was vulgar. I could see him liking that. It was created to entertain working class people, particularly children, said Moore. Now he says they marketed too much toward the middle class people. Yeah, that's why I tell you. This is why I love John Lydon, right? Because he's a genuine working class talent and voice.
Well, can I ask the last time Alan Moore worked in a mill? Or
it's been a while. It's been a while.
He's got a very middle class job. I just have to say, you know, he may come from the working class, but you know, it's all well and good.
No. He still lives very, very working class. He lives in a very working class. The way he lives, I can't.
Listen, I have all respect for him keeping to his roots, but again, this kind of class war idea has moved on now. Things have changed.
It's not like he's
demonized anyway.
He's intelligent enough, which is more intelligent than me, to eschew things that are pleasant and comfortable because he knows they're bad for you. Like he could be famous, but he's just chosen not to be. Move away from it because because it's not good for you. You know, like that pseudo fame. That I always had a lot of respect for him for that. And it's the same with money. He lives very
frugal. Yeah.
He lives very, very frugally, and I think he tries to do that intentionally.
No, I mean, he does seem to me to be. He does seem to me to be someone who lives by his word. So I do give him that, and you know, I have all due respect to him. But you know, when we're talking about terms of middle class and things like that, I think that kind of fixation from previous decades is now that whole discussion has really been mutated into something completely new.
I do agree. I think the whole class system is pretty much not gone, but been eroded significantly.
I think the conversation has changed from being the sort of, you know, the left and the right pressing the other, and it's gone more to something completely new, which is, you know, which the working class and the upper class, if you want to call it that, are now sort of coalesced together against the crazy people who are postmodernists.
Values, right? That's basically what it is.
I think that's what it is. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's keep going. Now he said, because they're now it's graphic novels. It's entirely priced for an audience of middle class people. He added, I have nothing against middle class people, but it wasn't be a medium for middle-aged hobbyists. It was meant to be a medium for people who haven't got much money.
It should be for everybody. I mean, we're talking about someone who's claiming to be egalitarian, so really it should be for everybody, regardless. I mean, it's no one's fault how they're raised or brought up, really, is it?
Right. I think again, if like Russell T.
He's saying if you're poor, you're stupid. Therefore, we'll read comics rather than the collected works of Shakespeare or whatever. It's kind of a bit.
No, he's not saying that. He's saying it was an inexpensive populist art form because it was inexpensive. It was always
but kids from all class backgrounds would buy comics. I don't think it was just
that. But that was only from really mid-70s onwards. Mid-70s onwards is when it's basically 2000 AD. It's battle to a certain extent. But mid-70s onwards is when it started going.
Look, kids have an imagination, right? They have a wild imagination, and comics really do fill that imagination. And I think that transcends class or race or anything.
But the comics he's talking about are from the 50s, right? They used to come over as ballast used as ballast in ships. Because they were so inexpensive, right? And then they were just like he's talking about those like that pre-Silver Age, exactly. That is Pulp Fiction. That Pulp Fiction was designed for working class people because if in 1957, if you're in grammar school, you're not going to want to be seen with a comic book. They were seen as being dirty, seen as being lowly.
Yeah, but I'm sure they did anyway. They probably hid them under their.
That gives you an incredible, creative freedom. Was it Why Don't You? The kids show Davis ran it for his last few seasons, right? Or maybe the last. And because of that, he could like really change. He could do anything with it because nobody cared or was watching. Like now, people care and are watching very closely. It's lost a lot of its freedom, which I think is I think that's a good thing about the Comicsgate stuff because that's got like complete freedom again.
Yeah. Agreed.
Anyway, so it wasn't, but now it's being made exactly as I said for middle-aged hobbyists. It would be fun. Although Russ Leach has his book called "Only God Can Save Us." That's exactly what Alan Moore's talking about here. It's like it's a fun like pulp, but he has to sell it in this big, nice-looking book because that's the economics of it. They just changed. Well, in his mind, what's wrong with people wanting to read comics? Art made for children, as they always have, and still feel sophisticated. The form grew up after all. Fine, so he's saying. Right, gorgeous page of this from Killing Joke. Oh,
still got the original green edition. But it's not a very good nick, I'm afraid. Otherwise, it'd be worth a lot of money.
But Moore feels that they didn't make the inroads into adult comics that they would, instead causing readers to take the heroes too seriously and become too grotesque view as they got more adult. Yeah, that's an interesting point.
Well, that's where he came up with the Watchmen, isn't it? Like the take on the grown-up superhero.
People took his cues and they moved forward. This next bit is great. Okay, this next bit I really got to take to heart and think about. He sees Adam West's portrayal as a more faithful adaptation of a man dressed as a bat. In increasingly, I think the best version of Batman was Adam West, which didn't take itself too seriously at all. Yeah, but I can't see something like that selling.
Well, he also says that Doctor Who, it went downhill after William Hartnell left. So he's a purist. He's a purist. This guy, he really is.
Yeah, reflecting the words of Jim Campbell, Moore likewise contends these characters have been stolen from their original creators. All of them, slinging out Marvel and Jack Kirby most of all. Okay, yeah. So there's a little bit of anger and bitterness there. I understand.
Well, I think the whole comic book industry is built on people sort of shafting each other and stealing ideas. And
well, I think it's mostly built on Alan Moore, but it's he's got his film out now, the sequel to that one I made you watch in Video Vault. Yes, Moore is a film is plugging the show, so he has a new ambition as for comedy. Blah blah blah. Tell me about when I can get this. Fine. No, they don't tell me about the show. That I hope gets on streaming soon. I will be totally up for that. Fine, okay, come up for 2 hours. Oh, I think I'm done.
Well done.
Time for dinner. It is 9:27 here in gorgeous Israel. So I'm going to wish you all a good night. Problem being, is there anything you want to plug?
Well, I'll see you tomorrow for the live Video Vault.
I guess so. Yeah, come back tomorrow, Video Vault. Subscribe to it if you're not subscribed. My subs are so annoying. They got to 1770, but they just keep going from like 1772, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 76, 75, 74, 72.
That's ridiculous.
So hit that subscribe button, but only hit it once because I would like you to stay subscribed. Yeah, that would be fantastic. So I'm going to hit the end broadcast button. As always, StreamYard is a product of its generation. It says, "Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure you want to do that?" I'm sure. I am a man who is sure in his judgment. Being sure indeed.
Are you sure?
I am sure. So I'm going to hit the end broadcast button, and it's going to give me the little